Today, I'm gonna show you how to load your bike into the Boundary Trailbreaker truck rack. But first of all, why would you put your bikes up in a rack like this? Honestly, it's pretty straightforward. First of all, you want your bikes in your truck bed. When you have them hanging off the back, they're more likely to get damaged and they're more likely to damage your truck. Plus, when you have a hitch rack or a tailgate pad, you don't have access to your tailgate. So your truck essentially acts like an SUV at that point. Plus, it keeps the bikes more centralized in the truck, so when you are off-roading, there's less movement and there's less that can get broken in the back. But it's enough talking, let's show you how to load a bike up. All right, let's show you how to load up a bike. I'm gonna load up my big, heavy 50-pound e-bike, just so you can see what the worst case scenario looks like. But before we jump into this, let me show you how to set up the rack to make it work the best for you. So first of all, we didn't give any specific spacing up here. That allows you to kind of adjust the trays based on what bikes are loaded in there. So you can move them so there's no frame interaction whatsoever. But rule of thumb, I like to keep my farthest left tray in line with the risers over here. That way, you don't have to worry about your pedals interacting with your truck bed rails, and it keeps your spacing as wide as possible. In between the trays, I like to keep about 4 to 5 inches between the two different trays. That way, keep your forks from interacting with each other and pedals and top tubes. In this little Ranger, I can fit about up to 5 bikes. So, all right, let's do this. All right. So, first, we're gonna load it up on the left-hand side of the truck. The bikes like to be loaded left to right. That way, it keeps things simple as possible. Now, we're gonna keep this right-hand pedal and bring it all the way down. Right down here is what we call our roller cam strap. The way this works is you're gonna feed this from the backside and up and down. Pull this up just like this. The idea is that when your strap is over your pedal, you wanna be pulling down. So we're gonna line this up with that axle, put that in just like that. We want this buckle as close to the axle as we can to give us as much room to tighten this thing as we can. Cinch it down, should be snug just like that, and that bike isn't going anywhere. Something you'll notice is on the riser, there's a couple of hold positions right here. Those hold positions are designed so if your bike isn't touching this bar, if it's contacting the ground first, you can move this bar between those positions to give you the best bike fit depending on what bike you have. For the most part, I like to use the middle position. It seems like most bikes work in that one the best. So that's pretty much it for loading it up. The trays will come with a valet strap. That valet strap is a fail-safe that goes up and around your front tire. It's not there to necessarily help keep the bike more stable, but it does help keep the bike from popping out in a worst case scenario. But that's pretty much it for loading your bike up. Now for taking it out, all you gotta do is if you have that valet strap on there, take the valet strap off. Then right here, just loosen this, slide it up and over your axle, and your bike's ready to go. One thing I'll give you a heads up on is when you load your bikes up, keep an eye out for your handlebar contacting the frame next to it and your pedal contacting the frame next to it as well. Those are your two spots where you could potentially see frame and frame interaction. But because the pedals aren't moving, you don't have to worry about the pedals dancing while you're driving. They're gonna stay stationary, so just make sure it's not contacting the frame when you load it up. That's pretty much it. If you have any questions, hit us up. We'd love to see any other techniques that you guys have for loading the bikes up. For the most part, it's pretty straightforward. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks.